Captain Sumare Jono. That was my grandfather. He was a pilot serving for Garuda Indonesian Airlines. Over the course of his career, he flew hundreds of flights, flying over 30 years. After retirement, his health started to dwindle, his ability to walk, and finally, his ability to speak. The once avid nomad, the speaker of multiple tongues, the father of four, the prestigious captain, was now bounded by a wheelchair. My father would always say that wealth means nothing without health, because let's be honest, it don't matter how many M's you've got in your bank account, 21 Savage. If your body and soul has reached its end, you can't reap the fruits of your labor. I didn't really understand what he meant by that until I saw firsthand with my grandfather. Nowadays, there's a lot of emphasis on maintaining your physical health, but health encompasses all three aspects, you see? There is physical, social, and mental. It's funny, our bodies can only be as strong as our minds, so maybe it's time we condition our mental well-being with the same efforts we put into conditioning our bodies. Welcome back to the show, an intimate conversation surrounding personal growth and the experiences that have shaped us into the people we are today. I am your host, Pradika, and this is the Pradikament. Today on the show, we've got our guest, the one, the only, Grace.
Yeah.
What's up, girl?
Hi. I'm happy to be here. It's my first time doing a podcast, so like super excited to get into it.
Yeah.
And thank you for having me.
No, thank you for having me. Oh, thank you for having yourself on here.
I mean
I'm super stoked for having you. You know, I've always wanted to have you on the pod because I feel like you're a type of person that exudes a lot of different perspectives.
Interesting that you say that.
Yeah,
yes.
and I think that every time when we talk, we always find like we always discover something new. We always have like these like deep talks, and I kind of fuck with your perspective on things. And so, you know, as we know, as you're aware, you know, COVID-19 was a shit show. And you know, one of the things
it was
that
better than it was a good shit show.
It was a good shit show.
It needed to happen.
It needed to happen. Yes,
Yeah.
and I think you're right. And the one thing that I admire about you as a person is that you exude positivity. And so one of the questions that I wanted to ask you is, what did that persist throughout COVID-19?
I want to say yes. I want to say no. I want to say it's non-linear. I want to
Okay.
say
Hey,
a
yo.
whole range of answers. Like it was everything.
Okay.
Like for me, COVID and being positive, it was easy to do that because I just kept busy. Like as you see, I'm like crocheting on camera right now. Like I built hobbies and stuff like that. And so that positivity was always there. But like at the same time, since you have so much free time, there was a lot to reflect. And because of that took away the positivity because I'm like, okay, now I need to reflect. I want to grow. I knew this was like a perfect time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of like bringing up old stuff. So that the fact that COVID happened was kind of positive in the sense that like you get to do your own hobbies and stuff and figure yourself out. Negative because like you're dealing with so much and it really is a journey to deal with it. Like to start your mental health journey, it's a lot of work. And so just dealing with all of that made it a little bit crazy. But now I'm positive again because it's like non-linear and that's totally fine. Yeah.
So then, you know, you mentioned about mental health. Like, how was your mental health like during COVID-19, if I may ask?
At the beginning of COVID-19, it was like really great. I didn't feel like school was already transitioning to online and stuff like that. And I went back home. And yeah, so that was at the beginning was fine. Afterward, when I started dealing with more things and I came back to Vancouver and me and my ex moved in together, it was a lot. Like you heard about people like getting divorces and like going through a lot with their significant other because you're spending so much more time with them. Like you really see that person and see them for who they are when you're spending 24 hours with a person. And so like that, I would say took a toll a little bit more than I thought. Like in like looking back, I was just like, oh, I should have been aware that this was affecting my mental health. But at the time I didn't know. What else?
Here's a question for you. So what is your perception on it? Do you think that it's really important? And how is it important to you, you know?
I think mental health should be important to everyone. I think therapy in the future is going to be taken as like you're about to meet up with your friend and like an hour before like you schedule a therapy session just to get it in. And I think everyone's going to be aware of their mental health like that.
Right.
Because like how you were treated as a child, whether or not like your childhood is just like the most important thing, like how you were brought up, and then like that's literally shaping how you interact, and like looking at all the experiences that shaped you. Like for me growing up, my brother's ex-girlfriend like said I was gonna get pregnant at a really young age, and I didn't know that was gonna affect me the way it did. Like I have people pleasing and stuff, because I'm just like, why do people like look at me and just would say these things? So I would like people please, and like with that I also have abandonment issues, which is like like those things don't like that's like a really bad combination, right? And like that's looking back at my childhood, like nothing happened that I would say like really affected me like that, but just hearing that and then how I grew up and interacted with people, that had some effect. So that's why I think mental health is super serious. Plus like a lot of things, like when you're saying, going off what you're saying, like when you want to like interact with people and that's how you share, I think that's amazing, because when you feel like you're not alone and stuff, like a lot of people deal with it by themselves, and that's not good, because then you think you're by yourself, and that's not the case, you know. Like you should interact, you should have these conversations. That's why I'm like so happy to be here and like sharing this stuff, because people should feel okay to share these things, like obviously with the right people, not with like people are gonna tell you manifested this literally.
Have you met people like that?
Like I had to stop being friends with one of my not stop being friends, but like I had to like cut that, because they said some stuff like that to me, and I was just like, bro, like I'm telling you, that? Right? And so like it's like you shouldn't, like it's great that you feel like you should talk to people and that you want to share. They're sharing with the right people. You're not gonna feel alone. Just you said it really perfectly, because like I have friends who I speak to and have these like therapy sessions with all the time. I have these two close friends of mine that I constantly talk about my problems with, right? But I guess you're right. People who don't have those kinds of people or are not comfortable speaking those kind of things with those kind of people, it's great to actually reach out to someone else who's an expert about things, right? And would you say that, you know, finding the right people really does play a big part into like how you can be like better versed with your mental health, like just surrounding yourself with the right people? 150%. Like obviously if you're like sitting in your room, four walls, looking at that by yourself, you're gonna feel super sad and depressed and feel like you're alone, like I've been saying. And so like and you can also feel alone within a group of people and stuff like that, and I've been feeling like that with my friend group recently, like and I really like verbalizing where I'm at, like meet me where I'm at. Like I'm telling you right now, I'm not feeling the best. Like I'm just going to need a little bit more communication. I think that's the best way, like to communicate that you need more communication or whatever you need, you know, and obviously like not overstepping and like putting your friends in an uncomfortable position. Like, come meet me at 3 a.m. Like I need to talk to you. Like obviously sometimes you need that, right? Sometimes you need that, but like making people feel uncomfortable. But just like the general things I would do is like ask for more communication, and they couldn't meet me right there at my lowest point. So it's like you can definitely feel alone with the people you're around. So I realized that, and I would rather be by myself. Like now I'm just chilling on my own and stuff. And so I took that off. I cut that off because I'm just like thinking about it, that they're not responding even though we're supposed to be friends, not picking up phone calls even though we're supposed to be friends. I felt even so much more alone, rather than just sitting with myself and realizing I don't have that baggage on me.
Right. No, I totally get what you're saying. Speaking about, you know, all this mental stuff, like I feel like you're a very I don't give a fuck kind of person. I love that about you, not gonna lie.
I'm freaking dead.
No, but it's true. I mean, first time I met you, you just exude this like, hey man, I don't give a fuck what people think, and I really do admire that. And so here's a question for you, because that's also part of, you know, how to build a better mental fortitude. But how do you not give a fuck?
No, how to not give a fuck with Gray.
How to not give a fuck with Gray.
Like honestly, I want to say for the people I valued, like my ex, like I felt I did give a fuck about what he, like certain things, like for fashion and stuff, like we're in a styling group and we did music videos and we like all that stuff. I trust his opinion on that. And when I value someone's opinion, like I would be more like, I would give a fuck about what they're saying to me.
Right.
And so so I'm not like don't give a fuck all the time, like it's not that, but I realize now like why I don't give a fuck in the most cases is because like everyone's doing their own thing. And I'm doing my own thing.
Right.
If I'm walking my own path, why would I care about what these other people who's not walking my own path or going through this, like going through whatever I've been through think like, why would I care about that?
Yeah, I got you.
So like, that's why I don't give a fuck. Like, like, you know, like, be whole in yourself, and that be sure that you're walking. And I feel like why you're not sure, like exactly what I'm saying with my ex, is that I wasn't sure about like the fashion stuff, and this I didn't feel confident, even though like I'm drippy, whatever. But like there's certain things where it's like the drip drop, drip drop. But like there's certain things like the luxury, like certain pieces, like archive pieces, like I don't know how to like have an eye for that, and he does. So I felt like super like not confident in that. And I would say that's what's making people second guess themselves and give a fuck about what other people are saying or thinking or doing, because they're not confident in themselves. Be confident and like build that. Like for me, I built that up in the fashion, and now I feel confident. I don't give a fuck about my ex, like for real, like on that stuff. I don't feel dependent anymore, and that's what I needed to do. I needed to build it on my own, and the only way you can do that is to sit with yourself, build that confidence within yourself, right? And that's how you don't give a fuck. Like, who cares? Like, if you're dressing like this outside and someone's like, bro, that's a ugly ass color, you're gonna be like, really no,
I get what you're saying.
Like, that's an ugly ass color. You're gonna be like, if you're sure of yourself and you're confident that you've worn this color, it looks good on you, you know this is your shade of blue, the turquoise, whatever, you're gonna be fine with, like, you can't, like, that's not gonna affect you. Right. And because people are not sure of themselves because they're trying to walk someone else's path, it's not going to work. And that's why they're constantly giving a fuck, constantly doing stuff.
I see. It's so interesting how like your mental really affects your body, hey?
Tell me about it, bro. Tell me about it. I know. It's crazy.
So then you went to like a psychiatrist to diagnose, to get yourself diagnosed and stuff like that. Yeah. And to you, was that really surprising to you? Like, whoa, what the fuck?
Nah.
It makes sense that when you look back at it. And you're
it totally makes sense. Yeah. Like, I felt like that. It was the first time like verbalizing it, when someone like, oh, there's a name for this. I'm actually fitting into something. Other people go through that. Like, obviously, nothing that you're experiencing is unique to you. Like, I want to say that. That's why, like, don't feel like you're alone. Like, reach out, you know?
Right.
But yeah, it wasn't new to me. Like, this has been going on. I knew I like do well under stress and stuff like that. And in society, it's kind of rewarded. Like, Wall Street, it's freaking stressed environment, people up, whatever. That's why, like, I'm so grateful at what's happening right now. Like, the shift in like slow fashion, like just all of this that's happening. Sorry, I can get into it more, but just like the shift that's happening, it's going toward a more slower environment. Like, yes, like TikTok's there and like only like 15-second videos or whatever. Mm-hmm. But if you talk to your friends, like, things are slowing down. Like, people want to work from home, be able to slow down their day, not be in this environment, like work environment all the time, and feel like they're on the go. And that's showing that it's more productive, you know, because they're able to take it slow and bring it back and just flow through that. And I guess that segue. Okay, so flowing, just being, you know, I've been learning a lot through COVID about just being and like allowing myself to just go through everything, because like I feel like with the mental health thing, I felt like before that, COVID has really shown me to chill. Like, it's okay to it's okay to just be. Like, if you're not feeling it, like, you don't need to be on all the time. Right. And I would say people feel like I'm on all the time, and I didn't feel that way before. And like, I didn't feel that way because like I said, I'm a high functioning stress person. I'm not processing it that way. I'm like, bro, this is just who I am. Like, I'm ready to go. Like, what do you mean? But that was now, like, with COVID, it's shown me to just be and like be chill and like take everything in strides. And like, you can't control everything, so don't try to. Right. It's like the same thing about creating out of freedom. Like, instead of out of fear. Like, I'm doing this stuff out of fear, right? I'm like, I don't want to become this type of person. You're not going to become this type of person. You're not. Like, trust that within yourself, right? And then creating out of freedom instead of the fear.
No. Yes. Would you say that being grateful has a big part into you being not flowing?
I don't know, because I've always been such like, I always express gratitude all the time. Like, I don't know. Right. I've never seen myself not express gratitude.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
So like, I always express gratitude, I guess. I don't know how that's going to affect for people who don't. I guess it would be worse because you're not being thankful of where you're at. And, you know, another thing with that, like, I want to say, reward yourself, like be grateful to yourself as well. Like you've
Okay.
gotten yourself this far, you've gotten yourself where you're at, only you know.
So
all that
self-love,
stuff.
a lot of
Yeah,
self-love.
a lot of self-love. Like I didn't realize how much self-hate I had toward myself after being in the relationship and hanging around the people I've been hanging around.
Okay.
And then I realized like I'm not this person who actually loves myself that much if I'm willing to put up with that, go through that constantly.
Right.
And once you realize that every day, just take it day by day. You are in this. It's a new day. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to get mad and scream, get mad and scream. Allow yourself to go through that.
Damn.
Break down to break through, because if you just keep bottling that up and you're going through life, it's not going to get better. It's just going to keep piling up.
It's interesting you say that, because like literally dead ass, like
literally dead ass.
Like I recently I did a previous, so I recently had a conversation with my good friend, and we were talking about like simping and shit like that, right? And dead ass, like I remember I felt this kind of way to this girl that I had liked. And I kind of hated myself that I had liked her. And my friend told me that it's like, it's okay, just let it set its course. You know what I mean? You have to feel these things. You can't be, you know what I mean? Like it's,
bro, I know what you mean. Oh my, I just learned that, bro. I
it's
really just
hard.
learned that. It's so hard.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, because I was like, dude, why am I so stupid? Like, why did I let like myself fall for like people like that? And then I was like, but then my friend was like, no, it's okay. You know, now you live, now you learn.
Right.
When you come out of this kind of state, which is normal to be in, you can be sad. You don't always have to be happy all the time,
and
right?
you don't always need to be sad all the time either. Like it's like just flow.
It's ebb and flow.
Right,
it's everything. Ebb and flow. Yeah, no, I got you. Let me ask you a question. Are you happy?
Yeah, yes.
Are you content?
I am happy now. And it's not gonna last. Happiness doesn't last, like every freaking other emotion, but I'm allowing myself to feel the happiness in this present moment, because that's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
And so with the contentment, I was so discontent. Holy moly. I was doing like 50 billion things. Like, and last year I was doing like 50 billion things. And
I know,
I'm just
you're crazy.
like, yeah, like I'm
a crackhead, bro.
I'm a crackhead. It's crackhead hours. It's crackhead hours. That's what's happening. But yeah, I was so discontent. Like I feel like that's another reason why I was sweating in my sleep, because I just felt so like, I'm doing things and like I'm being productive. Like, don't get me, like I don't want to confuse that I'm doing 50 billion things and they're not being productive. Like I'm being productive. Like it's doing things. I'm actually doing things and I feel great about it. But like I always felt like I need to be doing more for some reason. I'm like, I need to add more value. I need to do this. Feeling discontent and going through life, you just feel like shit. Like you just feel like shit. That's why I'm just like, how can I be gracious and still be like discontent? It's just like, was I really showing gratitude? Like I can speak gratitude, I can speak that, but do I actually feel grateful?
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know if I was still feeling that. Like, can I feel them at the same time? Are they mutually exclusive? I don't freaking know. But the problem was I was around the wrong people. I mean, I'm grateful that I went through that experience to realize that now and stuff like that. So am I happy now? Yeah, I'm happy now. Was I happy yesterday? Probably not. I was probably crying in tears. Like I literally cry every freaking day. Like it's crazy, but that's okay. And just allowing myself to be okay at each stage and each step that I'm at is what is making me feel more happy, which I'm like, if I'm feeling this way, and I don't want to give it happiness. I don't want to label it as happy. If I'm feeling content in the sadness I'm feeling, in the madness I'm feeling, in the happiness I'm feeling, in the weirdness I'm feeling, and I'm feeling content. That is a positive. That's a positive for me, rather than feeling discontent, sweating in my sleep, all that stuff. That's a positive, and I will continue to move along that path. That continues to open up and show me this is where the happiness is leading. Right. Yes.
Because I always find that happiness is a fleeting scale. It is. It really is. And so, like you said, you got to be content. That means you almost got to be present and enjoy the present, literally for all its fucking chaos, because life can be freaking chaotic.
And that's what it is. That's what you need to learn, to just be in all of that. And yes, with the present, like I've grounded myself so much. I feel like I was planning for the future. I'm like 25 million by 24. I'm like,
let's go.
Get it. I was like, let's go.
Like
dead ass, like 5 years I've been saying this. Like since I was in high school, I don't know what hit me, but I was like 25 million by 24 and or 24 million by 25. I don't know how I got to those numbers, but I was just like, I guess that's like also planting the seed, which is super bad, but I'm like, I'm a high functioning stress person, just go get done. look at me now. Like, I'm breaking down. Like, I had to break down to break through and realize, like, that's not the way, you know?
Just to sum up what you said, pretty much mental health is a process, right? You're going through learning yourself. It's a process, and you got to enjoy that process. As much as I hate to say it,
I don't want to call it a process. Mental health is everything. Like, it's literally everything. You wake up, you sleep, you shit. It's everything. Like, it's literally everything. And that's why, like, you need to be comfortable with that. You need to be comfortable in that.
Right.
Because it's everything. It's not like the process is done and you wake up at 34 and you're like, oh, life is great. Like, I went through so much. Like, I know now. I know it's not like that. Like, it's literally not like that. And that's why, like, you need to get comfortable with every stage you're at. Like,
absolutely.
It's incredible once you really allow yourself. And if you're, like, doing drugs and that's what you need to go through and your path leads you, no.
Yo.
And, like, that's where your path leads you, right? That's what your activities are leading you down that path.
Yeah.
And, like, you can't get yourself out of it, like, until, like, it's not too late, like, until you're, like, cracking down, like, it's breaking, you're breaking to the point, like, you're broken, you broke down, right? That's the only way you can pick yourself back up.
Okay, no,
to break through. And that's why, like, whatever path you're going down and you're, like, you're feeling bad about it, but you can't stop those hobbies, stop doing that mental stress, mental aerobics to beat yourself up for doing that stuff.
Right.
You know, like, I was watching this video, I forgot her name, but the therapist or psychiatrist, her name's like Helen something.
Okay.
And she was just saying, like, she had this client and she wanted to quit smoking for like 30 years or something like that, and she couldn't. But the mental stress that she was putting herself under for, like, hating herself for smoking and doing that bad habit was making her do it more. And what the therapist recommended was, or the psychiatrist recommended, don't beat yourself up for doing the bad habit. And then after that, so she did that. She stopped thinking, like, oh, I hate myself for doing this bad habit, and she smoked all the cigarettes, packs, whatever. And then she got to the point where it's just like,
I hate this.
Yeah.
I'm done.
You had to have that, like, moment with yourself where you're, like, allowing yourself to be in that state and not judge yourself. Don't judge yourself. I used to get all the time that I judge people, which is very interesting to me because I feel like
I don't think you give off that vibe. I mean, I don't know. That's just me
right.
personally.
You're not all up in my bed. I mean, you wouldn't know what pillow to. I know. I'm joking. I don't want to paint myself as this person who's judging people, but I guess there was, like, habits that made people feel that way, and it's just like, I don't want to be that person that makes people feel uncomfortable and stuff, because I wouldn't want to feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
And so, like, don't judge yourself. And I'm learning that as well. Like, I don't want to be this person. I'm like, don't think that. You're just living life.
Yeah.
Go through it. If you want to do freaking, I don't want to keep saying harsh drugs, but if you're doing drugs, like that's, like, paints the picture.
I totally get what you're saying. You just gotta go through you gotta go through all the different stages, right?
Go through all the different stages. That's the only way you're gonna grow. Like, I really thought I had this understanding where I'm like, oh, I can just, like, I don't need to do, like, this thing. I don't need to do this thing to understand. Like, I don't need to go through a breakup to know it's gonna be bad. Like, if he's bad for me, I'm gonna, like, just wake up instantly and just be like, yeah, it's hard, but, like, I need to do better for myself. And just, it's not like that. Like, after my breakup, like, literally it was so hard for me. And, like, I thought I could understand myself through things. I can't understand my way through things. You cannot. Just go through it. That is going to help you grow in all the ways you want to be, all the ways you need to be grown in, that needs to be grown in.
Right.
And that's what I'm figuring out. So I'm just like, give me all the experiences, give me everything. Like, I'm here for it.
It's a very healthy mindset to have. It's a very healthy mindset.
It's better. It's better. Like, it's where I'm at right now. Like, this is what has been working for me. Yeah, and so I'm gonna keep pursuing it until it doesn't, and I'm like, oh yeah, maybe this isn't the best way to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is where I'm at right now.
It's a journey, like you said before. Here's a question for you.
Yes.
You know, what do you think about different cultures and their response to mental health? Because I come from an Asian background, and I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it's not as fanatic as most, but it's like to them, mental health isn't really a thing so much, right? It's like, oh, you're just. But I also see it in a very beneficial way, because it's like, you know, don't let this thing, like, crowd your kind of your mental, right? Like, if you're just gonna think positive things come to you. I'm a big believer of manifestation. That's something.
Excuse me. Sorry. Keep going.
I am a big like believer of manifestation. I do believe that what you attract is what you get. So if you exude positivity, that's what you get, and if you exude negativity, that's what you get as well. So
and let's just talk on that, just that little part for a second.
Sure.
Obviously, like that's gonna be the case because like if I tell you to look outside and only look at red cards, it's the same thing, right? You're only gonna see. So if you're thinking in that negative mindset, that's what you're only gonna see. You're gonna take everything in that perspective through that lens. But keep going.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so for your own personal culture, right? Has there been backlash from that or not? Like, I'm just curious.
Like, I'm Jamaican. I lived in Florida and I came
to
and I lived in Florida and I moved to Canada about like when I was 7 and stuff. And that's my culture. I don't want to say like Jamaican because yes, like I have like 7 brothers, like Jamaican household, all that stuff.
Right.
We've always been talking about these kinds of things. Like,
okay.
Yeah. So I want to say my family's just like an outlier or something to cool. What's been happening. But like talking on the Asian culture and different cultures and stuff like that, yeah, they don't take it as seriously. And that's because how they grew up and their parents and how they treated things and like they don't know any better. And like that's why society and like that's why they're cracking now. And that's why like that's why kids are fucked up now. I'm so sorry. That's why kids are fucked up now because, and like the past generations are fucked up and that's just going to keep happening because they're not putting the emphasis on it. It's super sad that they don't. And I think more emphasis, like I'm saying, like in the future, I really think like therapy is going to be, everyone's going to therapy. It's not even looked at as a bad way. If people feel shame for going to therapy and like getting help and talking about that, it's not even going to be like that anymore. Like it's just something you do. You got an hour free session. You look for the next available therapy session. You just go to that, talk with them. You're checking in with yourself. Our parents didn't have that. Their grandparents didn't have that. They're trekking through whatever they're trekking through to get to school, taking 6 hours, climbing the side of the mountain and shit.
It's all about context, right? Because for them back in the day, it was like, look, man, I gotta do what I have to do. I can't,
right?
In order to survive, I can't beat myself down. I love my dad for this. And my dad, he's a terrific man for this, but he's the type of dude that was like, you know what? Amidst all the odds, you gotta look at the bright side of things. And then people are like, why are you so optimistic? Well, it's like, it's better than being pessimistic and negative.
Exactly.
And I think I also feel kind of, I feel about this personally. A lot of people say to me, yo, Dika, like you yourself, you exude positivity. You're optimistic all the time. You are a type of person that's like happy-go-lucky. Yeah. Yeah. And I hate that because it's like, I also go through some pains and some struggles. It's just, I just don't choose to show it. Just because you're mad at yourself, that doesn't mean you have the right to be mad at someone else about it, right? And show your negative emotions to someone else, right? And so,
why do you not choose to show it, or do you just not choose to show it to certain people, and then you're looking as though they don't know the full part of you? Like, what? Why do you feel like you don't?
For me, I choose to show who I really am to the people who are closest to me and who I think deserve it. In terms of like, I respect them and it's like I'm in a space where I'm not going to be judged. You know what I mean?
But do you care if those other people are judging you who you're not showing, and then you're like, they're only seeing that one side of me? Wouldn't you want to show yourself and attract the right people in your life for them to meet you where you're at?
Yes. So I used to be like what I described just now. Now I just don't give a rat's ass. I'll be straight with you.
Be straight, bro.
Be straight.
No. Everyone's welcomed.
Everyone's welcome.
Everything is welcome.
No. But absolutely, no. I think, I don't know. For me, it's like nowadays I just put it out there. If they accept me, they accept me. If they don't, they don't.
Yes.
But not gonna lie, growing up, it was something that I really struggled with. I did give a lot of fucks about what people thought about me, right? And I was very guarded in terms of like who I share myself to, because I was really afraid of being judged, not gonna lie.
Yes. Everyone is, and that's okay.
And that's why I guess maybe one could say that I exude a very positive mindset, because that's what I want people to see. Yes. Right. And I did realize that. And now it's really like a conscious choice. Before it was like maybe like a self-defense mechanism, like pretty much, but now it's like a real conscious choice to be happy constantly, because I feel like it's just a better state of mind than being sad. Genuinely a better state of mind. I don't like it when people are like, how are you feeling? Oh, shitty. Oh, wow. Fuck you. You know what I mean?
But that's what they're going through.
True.
Like, I think for you to say that, it's great to keep that positive mindset. You don't need to be positive all the time. And that's
Right.
why, like, you shouldn't be only seeking to be in this positivity.
No, I get you. Yeah.
Because, like, and, like, for you can't meet them at where they're at. Because you're hearing that and
Yeah,
you're just
true.
like, bro, like, yes, like, this is my journey, like, where I'm at now. I only want to be exuding positivity and all that stuff. But it's just, like, that's where they're at. And it's just, like, all you can do is be like, yeah, like, this is where you're at right now. Like, I'm sorry, like, I can't be around that, you know?
I guess you're right.
And
Maybe
then
it's
take
bit
a
naive
step
for me.
back from them because, like, you're not the right people for them to have in their lives at this point in their time.
Yeah. It's a good way to see it like that.
Yeah, it's definitely.
like
and I
that.
think this is how, like, this is a really great way to see it like that, because then you can understand, like, yeah, it's not for me. And that's okay. It's okay if it's not for you. It's okay you figured something. You tried strawberry ice cream and you actually like salted caramel. My prof loves salted caramel. It's so funny. Like,
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, it's just not for you, and that's okay.
Yeah, no.
So, yes to the positive mindset on where you're at right now, and like,
Mm-hmm.
it's obviously better to be positive, but, like, it's not, even though it's better, you being positive all the time isn't better in the long run. And that's
agree.
what, like, that's why people crack and have midlife crises, because they think they're doing everything great and they think they have the kids, the life, they're traveling, they're doing all this stuff, and yet they're still not happy. They're still not happy. They can keep telling themselves, like, I literally run like every day at, like, I get up at like 5-6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I stretch and then I go running and I do Tai Chi with these like 9 little Asian women in the park.
Okay.
Almost every day. They're
dope.
always there.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I was doing that, and yeah, you would think that's so great. Like, that's so good. And I was feeling good about it at first. And I realized, like, it wasn't helping. I'm like, I can do all these activities. It's not making me feel good. Like, I can be positive. I can do these positive things, but it's not, I can't be positive all the time, because that's not the rest state. That's not default. That's not.
Going back to what we said before about it's okay to feel certain emotions aside from that.
Exactly.
No, yeah, you're right. Damn. But here's a question for you as well. Talk me through Geli Hause Studios.
Yeah, so Geli House.
Yeah.
I know it's
Oh,
spelled
sorry.
like,
I am so sorry, Geli House. Fuck me, bro.
no,
Fuck.
it's okay. It's like spelled a super weird way. It's spelled with G, so it's Geli.
Geli Hause. Dope.
Yeah,
My
and
bad.
then house as in German, so like Geli House.
House.
And studios, Geli Hause Studios.
Yeah.
So it started out of mental health, because like last year, like I was saying, I was going through a bunch of stuff. Like, I was working through. I knew I wanted to change. Like, I was literally like asking God, the universe, whoever. I don't believe in religion, but I believe in God and stuff. And I was really asking him for a lot of, like, put me through this transition and stuff like that. And so that transition led to Geli House. Like, at the end of the December, I started, like, I was feeling so freaking bad about myself. Like, yeah, because of all of that, I would go to literally, like, sit in my business classes with a mask on my head. I just crocheted. Like, I was at home and I'm like, I just want to cover my face. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like, I literally just want to cover my face so much. So I made like a couple masks and I was just wearing them to school all the time, like the balaclavas and stuff. And then a couple people were like, where's this from? Where's this from? Where's this from? I'm like,
I
bro,
made it.
I'm just chilling right now. Like, I'm just covering my face. I mean, and then so many people were asking me about it. And I was just like, let me mobilize. And so the masks came. January came. I mobilized as quickly as possible. I got packaging done. I got my website up. I did
That's
freaking
amazing.
literally everything. Like, it's a one-woman show. Like, I literally handmade everything. Like,
How old are you?
23.
Oh, let's go, girl.
I'm
Let's go.
23. I just turned 23, but I wanted it to be very positive, very light. Like, I'm wearing my hat right now. Like, it's all like, I'm wearing my jewelry, my belly beads, my like, it's this whole brand. Like, it's jelly, it's crackhead energy, it's positivity. I want you to wear this. Like, you'll be in business class and you can still wear this, and like, you're gonna be respected. Like, people always like think I'm in arts or like not in university or like a fucking stripper or some shit, and I'm just like.
Oh my god.
Thank you so much. Like, really, like, these people out
body
here
roll.
people think I'm out here busting it down, like, for whatever reason. And it's just like, that's okay. Like, for me, like, that's okay. And I want people to realize, like, you don't have to fit this image. Yeah. And so I wanted Geli House to be that brand. I want everyone in my stuff. I want everyone to feel good, like little kids, grown-ups. Like, literally on the bus ride over, this 4-year-old, she came on the bus, she's like, you're so beautiful. Like, oh my gosh, like, I love your whole outfit. And she's like 4 years old. I'm like,
oh, that's so nice.
I love compliments from kids. Like, it's the best thing. And then, like, I'll get a compliment from, like, a 60-year-old who does want to buy my hat. And I'm just like, not that that's an old number. Like, shout out to my mama. She turned in 64 this year. Like, she can put her foot above her head. Like, she's real flexible.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like, that's what the product is. Like, anyone can buy it. It's for anybody. Like, you go on my website and it's just like positivity. It's just, I'm gonna drop a video like explaining my brand in the about section, just talking about the mental health.
Please.
It's great. I'm so happy. Like, Geli Hause is gonna be great. It's dope already. Like, it's beautiful. It's my baby, and now I'm just gonna keep carrying it and pushing it as much as I can, while allowing myself to just like grow and go through it if it's a period of like last month when I left to Mexico, because it was like I literally bought my plane ticket and I just left the next day, and then I missed a flight and I bought another ticket because I was going through some shit. I was like, let me leave the country. And then like I felt so bad about not doing Geli Hause, and I'm like, I need to allow myself to be in this space, because how am I gonna create if I'm not okay?
That's fair.
And so like I'm the testimonial to like mental health, and so I'm so glad to be advocating for it on my website. And like in the future, I want to be able to connect with like therapists or like other things, and like just link all of that on my website. I'm already coding for it, coding super hard.
She's one-woman show.
It's crazy. Show. It's crazy. It's a lot.
I'm not gonna lie. Well, with that being said, you know, you summed it up fucking well, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm blown away. I've learned a lot from you, and I love talking to you. Great, honest to God.
I love talking to you too. I'm happy to be here, bro. What you mean, bro? Let's go. What you mean, bro?
But yes, please, you know, this I probably will wrap this up here. Yes. But like, please, you know, on this camera, on that camera,
yes.
Drop your shit. Show them what you got right now. Yeah. Come on.
Okay, this is what we're doing.
Can I wear one?
Yes, wear one. Put this one on.
All right, I'll put this one right here.
And then like we have the bear mask.
The bear mask.
The bear one. Like we can put this one on.
All right, cool. You look fire. I ain't gonna lie.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's really that easy, bro. Y'all need to buy my stuff. Like, I mean, support Geli Hause. Like, it's dope stuff. Like, you can also wear it as a hat. Like, you roll it up. You know, we fix it up. We'll do something.
We'll do something. All right, so let the audience members know where you can find this website. Right here.
Yeah, so you can go either to GeliHaus.com, GeliHaus.com. Then also TikTok, Reels, Instagram, Geli Hause Studios, same thing. We'll plug it. It'll be everywhere. I don't know. They'll do some editing. Thank you so much for like listening to this conversation. Subscribe. Literally like stay tuned. This is the first freaking visual podcast being done by the Pradikament and his crew. Shout out.
Charlie,
shout
Arkin,
out.
shout out.
Charlie, Arkin, we out here. We in Geli Hause. We talking about mental health. We out here, we're trying. So like, if you guys like it, like stay tuned for more. It's gonna be dope. I'm excited to see where they take this, and I'm just grateful to be here.
Thank you. Well said. Gang shit, everyone. Peace out.
Gang shit. I'm freaking dead.